Hello, I'm Lottie.
And I'm Mark.
And this is
Showtime.
Shenanigans. Just snorted. So we're having a bit of a...
I thought you just get this in.
We're having a bit of a moment. That's what I was getting at. We're having a bit of a moment today. We've actually lost the plot.
Yeah.
We're filming a bit later. It's been a long day.
It's hot, so my brain cells
We're
decreased
fuzzled.
by 18%.
My drink's lost all its fizz, so I'm just not drinking the rest of that. We're going to get straight stuck in there with this episode
are we?
because it's a long one. So first of all, we're going to do our little three things. So key change
I love
of
how-
the week.
What I love though, she's like, it's going to be a long one. It ended up
It's
like 20
minutes. We don't know. I think it's going to be a long one.
We'll make it a long one if
Key
not.
change of the week. We've got
Yeah.
an empty leg.
And
Right.
poos.
I promise you that I probably actually can hold a tune when I sing. I just sing stupid on here. Okay, anyway, this week's
That's really
is...
itchy.
I've got itchy ears. Just being outside.
We're falling apart.
Jesus.
I'm really sorry for any listeners at home that are just like, or any listeners at all. We've lost it.
Waving through a window is my key change of the week.
Ooh.
Because she's
What
just...
was that?
Because it's like, he's talking, he's like, when you're falling in a forest, oh no.
Do you ever even crash or even make a sound?
Even
When
make a
you're falling in
sound.
a forest, follow me around.
Did I even make a sound? Did I even make a sound? It's like I never made a sound. Will I ever make a sound? And the music just cuts out, and then it's like, on the outside. Oh, it's looking it. It's dramatic, and I love it. I love a dramatic key change.
We know.
I also love a subtle one, so I like both. But waving through
Just
the
like
window.
key changes in
It's
general.
dramatic. It's so dramatic, like because I'm not expecting it. The music just stopped. So the first time I listened to it, I mean,
You're like, whoa.
I was like, what? It like.
Also, you crashed the car.
That was the kind of one where I had a physical reaction. I was like, oh my god. So she was a good one.
Delish.
Moving along, your fact
Ew.
is about Phantom.
Cool.
I think I've been stung on my ankle. Just so you know.
I literally can't read this.
Oh my god,
Cool, no, it's fine.
Phantom.
Okay. So, fun fact about Phantom of the Opera,
Oh god, you should do it.
Phantom of the Opera, is
Phantom
that
of the Opera.
so Phantom has like some like basically he has scars on his face, and the
Spoilers! That's why he wears a mask.
yeah the prosthetics that's on
Jesus.
take 2 hours to get on,
What's that,
every
half of
day.
his face?
and that's only for half his face. That's terrifying.
And then it takes how long?
Half an hour to get them off after the show. So if you're waiting for him to come out the stage door, that's why it takes so long.
You got a while to wait. There's a little doggy. He's really cute, but you know.
But yeah, so Phantom takes a long time to get into.
2 hours.
2 hours to get. That's
Well,
all. That's longer than it took Shrek to get in his like full head,
Really?
yeah,
Oh.
and body.
But yeah, like imagine coming into the theatre. Your show starts at 7:30. You have your half-hour call at
You have to. It has to be like
5 to
full, like
7.
full on like mask before like
warm up.
before warm up. It has to be more like.
So he'd
So
have
half
to.
his car probably would never see him without like the stuff on his face.
Yeah,
Apart from rehearsal, but even then you probably forget who they look.
that
who they
is
are.
craziness. How early do you have to come in? Like 5?
Literally.
No, earlier. 4:30.
Ugh.
Because he has the half-hour call, but warm-up's before that.
Anyway.
Crazy. Sorry, we got a little bit. Okay, and then the stress. This could take a while. The stress in the dress this week
Oh.
are latecomers.
Latecomers.
Shows. Not just at Les Mis, obviously,
Yeah.
because every show has.
Every
well,
show. Well, actually, every show has a latecomers policy. Whether they implement the latecomers policy
I mean,
is a
I
different.
know this sounds really ridiculous, but I'm
context.
going to quickly explain what latecomers are because.
Yeah, I was going to do the same thing, but here we
It's
are.
the basic way. Oh, sorry.
It's
I
fine, you do it.
wanted
Love. No, I mean, you're talking the rest of the podcast, so.
Alright, you
Thought I should
explain
probably say
what a
that then.
latecomer is really quick.
So a latecomer, really
we're not
quickly,
gonna keep doing
is so it's like
Stop. No, stop it.
it's a
Speak normally.
patron that's like really late. No, I'm joking.
Stop it!
So, sorry, I can't now.
We're not doing it.
So anyway,
a latecomer.
cool,
What
a
are
latecomer.
they?
So basically, the show starts around 7:30 usually.
Around. Like, we try and be bang on.
We try to be bang on, or like, well, some shows start at 7:45, some shows start at 7:30, some shows start at 2:30.
The show
Basically,
starts
be on
when
time
they go...
by the time the ticket says to be on time for. No, there is not like trailers. No, there is not like ads. It starts at 7:30.
starts
Get your ass in the seat by 7:30.
At 7:30 or near about. basically, as soon as you hear "Welcome to the Sondheim Theatre,"
or any other
if
theatre
you
for
want
that
to hear
matter.
the people sing, please turn off your mobile phones. Thank you and enjoy the show. Bum bum. But no, the start of that message where they go "Welcome," the lights will go down,
Yeah,
and
we want you to be on your
that's
seats.
when
We want you to have the
you can't go in after that.
because
you cannot
you've
go
paid
into your
the
seat.
price to go see that show, and you obviously want to do the whole show. And I get things can go wrong. Travel can go wrong. I understand
your
that.
child's like dying
But
in the car.
I mean, hopefully
from
not.
hunger. That's what I meant. I didn't mean
But
they're
like,
actually dying.
oh my god, can you imagine?
Your
but
restaurant, the bill
anyway,
taking too long
but
to come, stuff like that.
when I go see a show, I always like to make sure I'm around in the local area. By local area, I mean like I'm in walking distance of like 5 minutes from the
Yes.
theatre for an hour before the show starts.
Yes, you can
Because
sit in your seats half an hour before. So
Yeah.
at 7 p.m.
And some
you
shows
can
have
sit
like
in-
early like.
Yeah, you can
early
go into the
people-
auditorium and sit down.
Well, people have some shows some theatres let you into the theatre early, so you can just sit at the bars and just chill out and have a nice time.
But then you're there, aren't you?
Yeah, for me, because I get not anxiety, I guess kind of anxiety.
You just don't want to miss it.
I don't want to miss it, and I hate the idea of ever being late to
We've
any
done it
show.
once.
I've been late to a show once, and it honestly
It was
made me have an
stressful. It was
aneurysm,
actually
and it made the
awful.
whole show feel like really.
The show felt
gross.
rushed for me. I felt like it went really quickly.
Yeah.
We didn't miss barely anything. Like we heard it start as we were in
yeah.
the foyer.
So it
because
made
we ran
it
in.
made the show feel just a bit.
And with something really long, like a longer show, because it was for 6, which is like 75 minutes. It's
So
not
it's
a long
fine.
show. But
But-
we felt stressed for the whole thing. If I felt stressed for like 3 hours,
I feel like after the interview you'd be like more
yeah.
at ease.
True.
But also, we're lucky, you're very lucky if you do get late kind of points, because some shows the producers, so it's the producer's choice, or like the directors and like all the kind of the creative people.
Yeah,
they decide where their late kind of points are and if you're allowed to have them.
So that it's like the best part of the show where you're like, okay, it's
It's
a
the best part of
talking
the
bit.
or if
stuff.
there's like usually with us, our main ones are like set changes, or it's like dramatic bits of music. So
Lots
it's like
where a clap will be had. So for example,
with our first one,
it's after
He
Jean
rips-
Valjean rips up the ticket and it goes do 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 do
Yeah.
do do. That's when you'll see people come in with their torch and you'll see
Yeah.
people going to sit down. And then after Dream to Dream, when there's a massive applause for
Yeah.
Fontaine singing her song.
hopefully.
Well,
But but there's space given at them points so that
Where
we
we
can
are
take
told to
people
put
in,
Yeah.
and I mean obviously
Because otherwise it's
it shouldn't be
disruptive.
visible to you that like the audience members that are on time, but we try to make
There might be
secretive,
certain points
but-
where you'd think it would be one, but it's not. And that's
Also,
just
if you
the show.
also if you leave the toilet and you leave the auditorium,
You can go
9 out of 10 times you'll be put into a latecomers point. You'll be put back in.
Yeah.
Unless
it
there's no one around you, you can
depends.
sneak back in and out. Then do that.
It
but
depends.
if you can't,
We say that is if the toilets are like outside the auditorium.
Yeah.
If they're inside, it's fine. But if you go
If you have
out
to
of the
leave the- if
curtain
you have
and
to leave the
one of
door-
us would like notice that you've gone out, we'd probably come out and wait for you to finish in the loo, and then say
Yeah.
hi. We're just going to wait for a quieter point.
Well,
or if a latecomers point's coming
yeah,
up, take them in.
or
But
if the latecomers point, or there's a point like end of a song coming out, we can take you back in. And because obviously if you left the toilet, people know you're going to leave. Whereas if people don't know you're coming,
yeah.
it's a bit awkward. And you have to like do the whole kerfuffle thing.
Yeah,
whereas
they
somewhere-
know that you've gone to the loo and you're going to come back and step over them again.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like they know you're coming. So
It's
just
all about not disrupting the audience, but also the actors can see you walking in, and it can
Oh.
be distracting.
yeah.
And we get told they're like, your staff have taken someone in today in the show, this afternoon's show. Someone of your staff took someone in at this point in the stalls, and the actors pointed it out, and they said that was really distracting, or the producer, or whoever it is.
So
we have
yeah.
been told that before,
So-
so it's
So
it
our
works.
so
So
the
don't do
the
that.
latecomers points that we get given are like basically law
yeah,
for the show. They are very very important.
it's rules.
So if they are rules, and that's the way it is. So if you are late for a show, and the people and like the front of house staff do say to you, look, you missed the beginning of the show, so we're just going to hold you like for 10 minutes or whatever.
Our first one is
just-
just shy of 15 minutes,
yeah,
so it's not too
Just
long.
there usually is a screen where you can watch it, so you don't miss
Yeah.
the show. But if you're late, you're late.
Yeah, but some don't let you in
Some
until interval.
I worked at a show for like literally a day to do some overtime, and they didn't have a latecomers point in either act until the interval basically. So if you were late, you had to wait for the whole
Was there
the
a
whole
screen?
first act. I don't know.
Oh, you were
I
saying
was just sat in, so I didn't.
Okay, yeah,
I didn't have a chance to
You
like
didn't
look
know
around the
that
theatre
theatre,
properly. But
We were also going to say about there was a weird one.
we
for
went
Wicked.
we went to see Wicked one time. This was after we started working at Les Mis, and we realised they have a really weird latecomers point.
It's like halfway through a song, which normally isn't when latecomers points
It's
would
halfway
be.
through the song. What is this feeling?
What is this feeling? So sudden and new.
I think that's the name of it. If not, I'm sorry.
Loathing. Is that
But
one?
it's also known as, people call it Loathing. I think it's called What Is the Feeling.
It is What Is This Feeling, yeah.
Cool. So, basically they take you in like half through the song at like a choir to talking part before like the whole cast join in. The reason behind it is not a significant part in the storyline, so therefore it won't, if people get in your way, it won't ruin your...
You're not missing something that's like...
But I do think, because it's during a song...
It's very odd.
It's very odd, whereas I'd rather come in like after that when there's actually
That's
a clap.
actually another thing. With Les Mis, the whole show is singing, so it's really hard to come
Yeah.
up with latecomers points. Whereas if, like, I don't know how it works, but in a show where it's sort
I think
talking
Rachel's
Waitress,
was a lot easier,
they
because
could
I remember
take
one...
them in anytime they're talking, probably. Unless
Really?
it's a really quiet bit.
Yeah.
But with Les Mis, it's so hard because it's all talking,
Yeah, because
singing.
one time we went to
Phantom.
Waitress and I left. Well, I kind of didn't leave the auditorium, but I kind of did because I went to
went to
the
the
toilets and they're kind of like
You just
outside a little
went
bit.
back in, didn't
And I
you?
just sneaked back in. Waitress is luckily quite a light show, so if you are going to
It
the
was
toilet,
bright.
they don't really have to catch you. Whereas with
That
ours,
was another
it's
thing. Ooh, it's
so
pitch
dark.
black.
I mean, we're a legal limit of darkness.
Yeah. It's not
But it is
yeah.
dark.
But yeah, that's another thing. And things like Les Mis, Phantom, Miss Saigon. Does that have much talking?
Not really.
Basically, all the shows.
Basically, all the shows that
Cameron's
just have
produced.
completely, all the shows that have just complete singing all the way through.
Yeah, it's really
There's
hard to
not
do
usually many.
latecomers. We do have a fair few. We have a good amount, but there is one. I think it's after Master of the House. It's a long. Like I'm pretty sure
yeah.
the next one's the interval.
Literally, no, it's like just before. I think that's basically just before the interval. It's like
a lot. We
in my life.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. Never mind. Don't worry. Carry
But
on.
obviously, if you are late, we do want to make you have the best experience you
Yeah,
can,
just don't
and this is how
shout,
everyone.
just
Don't
shout
be
and
angry at
stuff.
us. We're doing our
It's
job.
really
We're being
hard.
told, and we don't want to get fired. So we're having to do.
We are briefed. We are told in our training,
And-
like, look, we came up with a list, didn't
Yeah.
we, of things that could go wrong to make people late.
Yeah.
So we understood.
I do understand, but if you like, for like me, as I was saying a minute ago, when we travel into London, I will purposely make sure I leave like 4 hours to get up
I mean,
there.
that's not true.
Apart from when we did the Waitress thing, but that's fine.
Apart from going to Waitress spontaneously after work, but that's
It's fine.
we made it.
We
But
did,
We
but
made
it
sure we were
gave me
at
so.
the building or like next to the building an
But also,
hour
but
before.
I knew
at
how much.
least.
Like I knew the trains were always like more or less okay. We always made sure we got like
Depends
an
where it
earlier
is as
train, a
well,
fast
like,
train.
If the theatre's literally, if you're going to see Wicked and you're travelling to Victoria Station and
You
don't have to get the tube,
you can literally get off the train at 7 o'clock. It's
like
fine.
it's fine. But like if you're doing one where you're travelling into Victoria Station, like London
Like if you're
Victoria,
if you're
then
going
you
to
go
like
into Shaftesbury
if you're going to
Avenue,
like the Palladium,
you've got two tubes
long
there.
way.
From Victoria, you've got 2 tubes to get to Shaftesbury. So like that's
you walk.
lots of things that could go wrong there. But yeah,
So-
it depends.
And
on-
also, if you're planning on eating, that's another like whole palaver. But basically, that's not about latecomers. That's just about being late.
yeah, no, but we understand why.
We
people are late.
we
It's
are so
just-
understanding, and we've all been late. We haven't all been late,
Not
but
necessarily to the theatre, but we've all been late in our lives.
So-
we know what it is.
so we know how things happen. Things just don't. We never plan it. And I get you're angry because you're missing. We're not angry, but I get why people are upset.
Whoa.
Whoa, I'm getting like my voice. It's like I get like emotional there.
We get
I'm
why
not.
people are kind of angry or upset, and it's
Oh,
like, why
100%.
can't I go
They
in?
paid
Why
so much money
can't
for
I?
it, and
But
we will
it's
do.
sad.
We will always do the best we can to make every
Slouch.
every patron as happy as we can.
Yeah.
That is the tea of the
that is the tea.
day.
Right.
Cool. 15
I'm
minutes
coming
in.
back. Woo! So, oh my god, I've got a lady.
Well, no, actually, quite. Yeah, we're like 14, but it's fine.
I'm wearing a dress today, lads. Different.
She's got her Babylons out.
Don't point them out.
Bing bings.
A girl has boobs.
Who?
Shocker.
Sorry, I thought your flat. Sorry.
Who knew? Okay. So, right. What
Left.
was I saying? Right. Today's episode is about show flops. And it's not...
Flippity flops.
I'm going to clarify.
Spread 'em
It's not flops as in like we think these shows are trash. Absolutely not that.
No. These are
It's
like particularly
actual-
acclaimed
when you type in theatre
flaps.
when you type in theatre flop on Google, it's like shows that have done barely any run
And like
or whatever.
just had like
because
2 days.
they haven't picked up, people haven't
No.
enjoyed them, so they've closed. That being said, we have quite a big one that you will all know that we're leaving till last because it's up there. And we're gonna leave it till last. It's a really big one that originally flopped, kind of. It
Yeah.
originally flopped.
Yeah, but it never closed. It just got
It didn't
it
close,
just
but
flopped.
it massively flopped and then picked up. So it's fine.
Yeah.
So the first one, and I've got like tiny mini because I thought that would help the. I think I just.
Yeah,
because some of these I have no idea what they are.
Yeah.
So I thought it would just help a little thing. You might understand it, you might
I'm
not.
just gonna like tilt this a little bit, so I'm sorry if you hear any like
Hello?
crazy sounds.
Okay, so this is actually my favourite thing. So there was a show called Senator Joe.
Yeah.
Which basically is the story of Joseph McCarthy, who was a former American senator from, well, he died in 1957. Said
Sad.
Joseph Raymond McCarthy was an American politician who served as a Republican US senator from the state of Wisconsin from 1947 until his death in 1957. Basically, it's his story of how he did what he did. I don't really know what a senator is, I'm not gonna lie. Something to do with politics. Politics is very different in America. Is it like a local MP? Because it said from Wisconsin.
Sure.
So maybe it's like a local
Yeah.
MP for us. So the person in your area, maybe. I'm not sure. But basically, it was his life story. And can the dog stop, like, fighting?
Also, I just want to say as well that I have like some of these I don't have any idea about. So she's also teaching me about them.
Yeah,
so,
I've just googled a mini synopsis, and Mark's.
So if I'm quiet, that's why.
It's my episode. It's my shining moment. It was your idea, though. To be fair.
To be fair,
this was Mark's idea to do like show flops, but I just found everything.
I got busy editing, and Lottie got busy. Lottie got busy
Basically,
researching.
we have a system because Mark's better at editing and knows how to do it pretty much.
I'm really sorry if I'm not. Let me know.
Not that they need much editing, but just cutting things out.
Yeah.
Yours are always a bit more smooth than how I do things, which is fine. So he does that more. So I tend to do a lot more research and stuff for it, just because then I'm sharing the workload.
Yeah.
So I've googled some things, but he comes up with ideas.
Yeah. So sometimes if I look surprised, that's why. It's because I have no idea what's going on in the podcast.
But yeah. So basically, Joseph McCarthy, he's
Classic
just
man.
living his life. And okay, so if anyone doesn't know, with a show, you have previews, which are like 2-3 weeks.
Well, sometimes you have like out of
Generally.
town tryouts.
Or like
Waitress
Waitress did.
Yeah, so you have tryouts, and then you have previews in
The theatre that it's gonna open up in.
So lots of like shows, like for Broadway shows, for example. I know lots of shows start like in like Chicago.
Yeah, or do like a
They like have like Chicago
like a
tryouts.
national
They're called like Chicago. I think called like Chicago, like Broadway in Chicago. Something like that. Where they try out Broadway shows.
To see if people are gonna like
hopeful
them.
Broadway shows in Chicago,
and then they
move
to
to Broadway.
Yeah.
So usually they could have a set out there, and it could be great.
So then they move over to their theatre in Broadway where they're planning to open up. You have previews, which are the kinds of, it's like a 3-week or month period.
Obviously, if you move a theatre or any show, if you're moving it from, even if you're not moving it, like when Waitress came over here, yes, it moved, but it was the same show. It breathed its lungs many times.
Yeah, but they have to learn how to do things in a certain theatre.
Yeah,
but previews are sort of the times where things can be changed.
Yes.
Like for example, at Les Mis, our bows were shortened drastically from previews to press night. I remember when we had the new bows, and I was like, we've just shaved like 5 minutes off the show.
Yeah,
they went on for so long.
Come on and off and on and off and on and off.
Yeah, but that's what previews are for. It's for seeing seeing how audiences react to certain things as well, especially with new shows.
If things don't get like a massive clap, usually get
sometimes they cut things. Yeah, literally Oliver Ormston was saying in their videos, he was saying that in Back to the Future, I think, like whole songs had been cut. They'd done them for the previews, and just a whole song will just go.
Or songs get added in.
Or that, yeah. But yeah, that's what previews are basically, and then the show opens up and then things don't really change.
Yeah, and it's a lot harder than change because it's a running machine.
Yeah, and it's like written out.
Yeah.
All that jazz. So that's what preview is. So Senator Joe did 3 previews. That was it. Didn't even open. 3 previews.
Wow.
I think that's the biggest flop we have on here.
Wow, that's really sad.
I mean, maybe his life wasn't that interesting. Maybe the songs weren't great. Maybe he was a controversial. Like if people did a musical about Trump, I think it would be quite controversial. Like about his life, let's say, it could be quite controversial. So people might not go purely because it was about a person that they don't like, because it's a guy in politics. Like, come on.
Which is it's a very difficult thing doing like autobiography like shows
about people's life.
Yeah. Sorry, that was really the worst way of
Not
saying
necessarily musicians either.
Yeah.
Like you have Cher and
we have like Cher and Tina, but like doing shows
songs.
about people that have songs, it's a lot easier to do a show about them because you actually have songs where people are like, yes.
You can relate to.
Whereas doing a show of like Hamilton, for example, Hamilton could be such a massive flop.
That could have been, yeah.
But it's about
politics.
one of America's kind of least known about founding fathers, and now it's turned into one of the biggest like Broadway sensations ever.
Exactly.
So it just depends.
But yeah, so that 3 previews. I mean, that's tragic,
sucks.
isn't it? I mean, like people always say, it's like you kind of have to feel bad for everyone that was involved.
Oh yeah,
Because this would have
obviously.
taken months of planning to
And
come up with the
so
script,
much
coming up with the
money.
things, money, coming up with the songs. You know, make the set design and all that,
Yeah.
costumes,
Because
and
yeah,
to have
things
3
just
shows.
things just don't things just don't get like given money. You have to like.
You have to.
People
That's
have to,
kind of what previews are for, is to see if they can actually run the show and they're getting enough money for it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's another thing. Anyway, moving on. So, the famous story of Rocky,
So Rocky's our next show, by the way.
which was, the next show, Rocky. So, obviously that was a film
Didn't it?
about a boxer.
Isn't it still in Isn't it still going in another country?
Yeah, I'm getting
Cool,
there.
sorry.
I'm getting there.
I-
So, Rocky, which is a film, I have never seen it. There's like
Is that
4,
a
isn't there?
wrestler?
Boxer, I just said that.
Oh,
God,
I don't listen. I'm
it's
so
a
sorry.
boxer. That's not a wrestler, is it?
No.
Right,
What
Rocky.
was it?
Rocky brings to life the story of Rocky Balboa,
Cute.
a small-time boxer from working-class Philadelphia.
Not to be confused with Rocky Horror. Just
No, not
so
Rocky
we know.
Horror. No.
Just Rocky.
That's very different. Who is chosen to take on the reigning world heavyweight champion Apollo Creed when the undefeated fighter's scheduled opponent is injured. Dun dun dun. So I'm assuming that's the same as the film.
Gasp.
So basically, this show did on Broadway. I mean, they say this is a flop. It did 28 previews, so it's like a month.
That's a good long. That's a
That's
good
a
lump
month of
that's
previews that you'd
preview.
think,
They
you
completed
know.
previews then.
So she got through previews, and then it did 188 performances.
That's pretty decent.
Which is pretty decent. It's not very long. It's for a few months.
You know, I remember when we researched this, I said to you, like, some shows do like a run that's only that size.
Yeah,
like-
they put on.
Like short runs, they don't know how well they're going to do. For, like,
So 188 shows.
because like I swear
performances,
Heather only did like 100 shows,
something like that.
but it's sold out.
It's like, yeah, Heather's. Are you talking about the off-Broadway one?
Well, the West End.
Yeah, the West End
We did,
one.
like,
Okay,
100.
yeah, they specifically had a short run. It was really good
Yeah.
at the other Palace, so they were like, we're gonna move it to the West End.
And it did another
The
short
other Palace
run
is
there.
like an off West End theatre.
Theatre, yeah.
So 188 performances. I've divided it by 8 because that's how many shows a week.
Ging.
So it did 23 and a half weeks
That's
in
decent.
comparison. Obviously, some weeks might be different amounts of shows, but yeah.
Yeah, that's decent.
23 that's half a year.
Heather's is like 6 weeks, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you've got 52 weeks in a year, so that's half a year. So it did all right. 6 months. Wow.
I
there we
wouldn't
go.
call that a flop. But
I
like,
wouldn't say it was a flop. But they tried to move it over to Korea, and that production was scrapped. It did not work. They just couldn't do it.
love that.
Not sure why, but they just scrapped it
smashed
completely. The previews opened a day late. It previewed a day late. Sorry, because
Classic.
rehearsals were delayed because of power problems. So right off, that could have taken
Savage.
money from it.
Yeah, definitely.
So the previews were meant to start on the 4th. They started on the 5th.
That's so many tickets that like just.
Yeah, could you imagine? Because
'Cause-
some of those people would have been like, "Oh, it's not worth it. I don't really need to see it. I was
thinking
just
of
buying
power
it because it was the
problems,
first
Opening
show,
night,
but whatever.
yeah.
No, I'm not bothered." So they would have got refunds for that. So yeah. However, Germany loved it. They absolutely loved it when it
Yeah.
went over to Germany. It's still going over there. I'm pretty sure. Or it went for a while. I googled it. I can't remember. But Germany liked it a lot.
Germany loved
I
that show.
definitely think it's still going, or it's just it was there for like 5 years or something ridiculous.
Yeah. So Germans like the weird shit. They love Starlight Express as well. They built a whole theatre for Starlight Express.
I love that. I really wish I'd seen that. I think my
It's
dad's
still
seen
there.
that.
We can go see it if you want.
Let's go to Germany! Aw, please. Can we
It's
actually
all
go
in
to
German.
Germany?
Yeah, but it's all in German. So we have to watch a whole
Ich
show.
heiße Lossi.
We have to watch a whole show we don't know anything about in
Es
German.
gibt mir fantastisch.
Thank you.
See, I can speak German. Gotta be in that GCSE.
Ich heiße. That's French.
Gabby. No, it's not.
Is it?
Je m'appelle is
Oh,
French.
fudge.
Wow, he did not take a language at GCSE, can you tell?
I took them on in like.
You're
when
right.
I had to. I was like,
Moving
bah.
on, we're coming up to a show called The Red Shoes.
Who?
Exactly. The Red Shoes is a tale of
which of the Reds?
obsession.
Me.
She's me. Tale of obsession. Oh, is this the one where it came up with the Wizard of Oz? And I was like, what?
The red
Maybe
shoes,
not.
I guess. 'cause
Actually not. No,
maybe-
incorrect. Don't worry. I
Quit.
think it was an ad. The Red Shoes is a tale of obsession, possession, and one girl's dream to be the greatest dancer in the world. See, this sounds like it would be good.
Yeah.
Victoria Page lives to
I'd love
dance.
to hear how it flops as well.
Victoria Page lives to dance, but her ambitions become a battleground between the two men who inspire her passion. You know what? That sounds pretty good.
That sounds spicy.
Kind of want to see it. It's probably from like the 50s.
Yeah.
Oh, 1993. That's not the 50s there.
No.
Oh, whoops. Oh,
What's
it
this
tells
like-
the
oh,
tale of a
wait,
young ballerina who performs in an adaptation of the 1845 Hans Christian Andersen story. Little.
Mermaid?
She performed in the production, as in the show on Broadway. In the
so
story.
it was a show inside a show.
Yeah, in the
Love
story,
that.
she was performing in a Hans Christian Andersen
I
story.
love that.
Okay, so a little. What's it called? Like not a segue. Like a little
Diversion.
cameo of Hans Christian Andersen's story, whatever it was. It doesn't say. Anyway.
I love a good show inside a show. It's always a bit of fun.
Okay, this one's kind of crazy. So she did
God.
51 previews. So
That's a long preview period.
That's almost 2 months. Something must have gone wrong or something for them
They
to
just
be
couldn't
like, well,
settle
let's
with it.
yeah, they couldn't. They were like, no, this is trash. We need to change this. And 5 performances. So after all that, all those previews, she did 5 shows. Obviously, we didn't point out, previews are where people come in, they pay, it's like, you're basically seeing the show, but there's a potential of it changing the next time you see it.
I went to see Waitress when it came to the UK, but it was in preview, so it's a little cheaper. And then I remember like I went back a couple of weeks later.
We just had a
totally
week
changed.
email, work email. So we'll be looking at that later. How exciting!
Is it important?
It's about holiday.
Cute.
Anyway, yeah, 5 performances. How tragic is that?
That is so sad.
Like after all of that. Okay, the next one is the Pirate Queen. I just need to check on here. That's the one I've just clicked on. Yeah, Pirate Queen. Okay, just
cool.
She was next on the list, but the tabs are in the wrong order, so I don't. Okay, it's a little bit long.
Can't wait.
But we got this. Based on the story of Grace O'Malley, the personification of Ireland, the Pirate Queen is a sweeping epic of love, honour, and piracy. Funnily enough, in Renaissance
Sexy.
Ireland, I don't know what. Oh, further down it says Elizabeth I, so end of Tudor times.
Oh, okay.
Renaissance Ireland is
That's the Renaissance period, so yeah.
1500s?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Grace O'Malley is the heir to the O'Malley clan and proves herself worthy through her bravery on the seas and skill in swordplay.
Cute.
So it's proper like pirate queen. So she's
Yes.
Queen of the Pirates, man. In a time when women are expected to learn skills to make a good wife in the homestead, Grace defies her father and earns the title the Pirate Queen, inspiring men and women alike to follow her. Ooh, so she created a little pirate clan.
Yeah. Got to carry on.
When the English began to attack and subjugate Ireland.
Subjugate?
No, I thought it was that, but there's no D.
Oh.
Only Grace has the strength and intelligence to negotiate peace with the powerful Queen Elizabeth I.
Count.
Oh, it just says about Claude Michel, Schomburg and Alan Babille, who wrote the score.
Cool. It recently opened up in West End again. It had like
one show,
but like
because
just,
I was going to go see it, but I didn't.
But it was just like a bit of. I think it was just a bit of. Like
it was a concert.
It was a concert of it, and people really enjoyed it. Actually,
Yeah.
it like sold out.
I mean, it sounds fun, and it's like it says steeped in Irish traditions and powerful ballads.
So I guess it's why I'd work in the West
Songs-wise.
End, but it opened abroad, didn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like that would be quite cool. I was going to go see it, and then I didn't.
I think it was on a Sunday, and we're dead.
Yeah, it was I think it was probably like the end of press week or
Yeah.
something, or after our week in February where we had a week
definitely.
off. It wouldn't have worked, but she did. 32 previews, so a month,
Decent.
pretty decent. 85 performances,
Still not that bad.
so 2.5
That was
months.
just it, wasn't it?
2.5 months. That's not bad.
that's-
So she did like, let's say 4 months in total, just to give her a
Yeah.
little bit, because it's weird numbers. 4 months in total. I mean, it's a bit short, but you know.
What can you do? Also, I think if it opened on the West End, it probably would have done a lot bit better. But
Maybe,
it's like
'cause it's
English,
Irish.
Yeah, it's like
But then
English
again,
heritage.
Well, no, because the Americans, like the Irish, went over to America. That's why they celebrate St. Patrick's Day, because
True.
so many of the Americans, like their blood is Irish because people went over.
Right.
I don't know enough about American history, but that's what I know. That's why, because I was like, Mum,
Yeah.
why is St. Patrick's Day such a big deal in America?
But all they do is drink. They don't really do.
I mean, yeah, but that's
What,
what
they
St.
don't
Patrick's Day is. You party.
True.
So to celebrate their patron saint
Whoop-de
guy.
do.
Okay, next we have Merrily We Roll Along,
Cool.
which is really hard to say first.
Merrily
I
roll
didn't really know
along.
anything.
Merrily
Okay,
roll along.
story of Franklin Shepherd, a rich, famous, and influential songwriter and film producer. But how did he get where Oh Jesus!
Ooh.
How did he get to be where he is today? There you go. That's basically it. And it goes to 1976, then back to 1973, then to 1968.
That was about over the shop.
Then 1966. It just goes back. It keeps going back and back in time, which must have been a bit confusing. Surely you'd start from the beginning and work up to where he is now. 1964, 1962, 1960, 59 to 57, and then it ends in 1957. That sounds complicated. You'd think with jukebox, or maybe, jukebox, and when it's a story of someone's life, normally maybe it'll have present day then, being woo, this is where I'm at, and then it will rewind and start from 1959 or whatever that was, 57.
Who knows?
And then go to modern, but whatever. I didn't find anything about previews. It just said it did 16 performances. So that sounds like a lot of work went into that show for it not to do.
Yeah.
It did 2 weeks. Bit awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
But poor thing. I don't even know who that guy is. Frank Shepherd.
Cool. Good story, bro.
Next we have Flahuli,
Who?
which I put in purely for the name. It sounds
Flahuli?
Flahuli. Okay, puppet designer Sylvester has created laughing doll Flahuli. So it's the name of a doll. That makes sense.
Course
Why
it
it's such a
is.
weird name. If anyone out there is called Flahuli, I'm really sorry if I've just offended you.
We love you.
Sorry. I've just never heard of it. Laughing doll Flahuli, and is about to unveil it as the company's big Christmas release to the board of directors. This destructive behaviour begins to kill Abu, until Sandy is able to save one doll and fix it again, reviving the genie. I feel like we've skipped half the story there. That's just what it says. It's got like a ...
Oh.
And then there's destructive behaviour. I don't know what happened there with the synopsis, but I just tried to get short ones. It's about a puppet.
Brilliant.
Basically.
Great story.
40
Right.
performances.
About a puppet, pretty decent.
It must have had some good songs. I'm pretty sure it's on Spotify. Flowly. Next one. How are we doing? We're a bit short. Oh, we can talk about the other ones. Okay, Catch Me If You Can is the next one, which I've listened to. I quite like it.
That's one with Kay Butler in, isn't it? And Aaron Tveit.
Pretty sure. I swear you told me about it.
Yes.
It's got quite good songs.
Is that the one with let me just... Is there a photo of it?
Oh, that's not a good picture. It's the one with the pink heel.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, it's got some good songs in it. My favourite one is Fly, Fly Away.
This one.
Yes.
This one, if you can see that. Yeah. Aaron Tveit, Tom Wuppat,
and
Norbert Leo Butts, Rachel Rack, Alex Ellis. Where the hell is Carrie Butler? Oh, Carrie Butler, yeah.
Yeah. She had a song called Fly Away.
That's in my
it's a great
musical
song.
playlist. Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so it just says musical comedy. It's always good.
Yeah.
With scored by those people. Oh, it follows the story of a con artist named Frank Abagnale. Based on majority of plot is borrowed from the 2002 film of the same name, which in turn is based on a 1980 autobiography by Frank Abagnale and Stan Redding, who maybe was his partner in crime. I don't know.
There's also another great song that I forgot called Goodbye.
Oh yeah.
Goodbye and Fly, Fly Away. Listen to those.
They are good. So this is a true story then.
We love a good true story.
Which is great. That's another book to read.
Brilliant.
Maybe their autobiography. It did 32 previews, so
decent.
Again a month, and then 170.
That's not
performance.
A flop.
See, I don't know why they come up, but maybe it flopped for a certain reason. So
maybe people didn't keep turning up, so they're just like goodbye.
They might have gone on for that long because they had the money in the beginning and the previews got loads, and then the audiences got smaller and smaller. So they were like, we're getting like less than half audiences now. We just need to stop.
Yeah.
But that's almost as many performances. It's like similar to Rocky.
Okay.
So you know. Oh, sorry. Disorganised. Spider-Man the musical.
Spider-Man the musical was one of the biggest. It's got so much like.
I mean, why?
It was really weird. It looked really. If you there's a trailer of it on YouTube, you should watch it. It's really good. Some of the songs are quite good actually. I can't name any, but some of the songs are quite good.
I haven't listened to it.
And yeah, there's lots of deaths during.
I don't think it was deaths because I was looking through
there's
Wikipedia.
Lots of accidents anyway.
There was definitely a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I think someone did die, but I think there's many injuries from where like because obviously Spider-Man does a lot of flying, And there's a specific scene where there's like 50 different like Spider-Mans, or like the whole cast turned like Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and they're all flying around. They get their like because they get their ropes tangled, and they get basically like, they spin around and they get out of control, and then they get thrown into a wall and die.
Yeah, there were a lot of big stunts that are
Yeah.
a bit.
There's also like fire, and lots of them got burned.
Is it Spider-Man Turn of the Dark?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is a musical based on this. Basically, it's Spider-Man's backstory. So there's
Yeah.
probably a movie that tells the exact same story.
Yeah.
It tells Spider-Man's origin story, his romance with Mary Jane, and his battles with the Green Goblin. It includes highly technical stunts such as aerial combat scenes, which is them on strings fighting in the air, right?
Yeah.
And actors swinging from webs. But yeah, there was a bit of a.
It was the set's really cool. It was like kind of like comic book like buildings, like how buildings are built, like they're like drawn like comic book like things, and they're all like 2D, and they all like kind of it looked really cool, but it just didn't do very well.
Yeah, I mean, well, it kind of did. It says, failing ticket sales is why it closed.
Yeah, because there was so much money put into
$75 million it cost, and they just didn't make it back, even though it ran for 3 years. It didn't make back that money.
That's why it was a flop.
So
is because it never made back the money they put into it.
Largest loss in Broadway history. They
Yeah.
lost $60 million. So they only made $15 million on it in 3 years. Jesus, that's so much.
And I think it was directed by Julie Taymor.
I'm scrolling up. Bono. Sorry, Julie Taymor.
Julie Taymor. She also did the puppets and directed Lion King, so she made her money back that way. But
that's it for that.
Yeah.
Not that's it, but you know.
Yeah. So that's.
Yeah. So it didn't flop like in the way that it didn't do many performances. It just made back barely any money that they spent on it, and there were some injuries. So
that's how you get flops, is but not because they could have the longest run but never make back the money they put into it.
If it costs so much to put on, yeah.
Yeah.
The next one is Carrie. Ooh. I'm leaving the other one till last. The next one's Carrie. You know a bit more about this one, don't you? How she worked. Kind of. Well, okay, she did 5 performances on Broadway. Or off Broadway? No, on Broadway.
That was in her like tryouts, in like that was
previews.
Before they had the revival. They didn't have many.
Explain to the viewers.
Before they didn't have any. So they had like 3 revivals of the show, but the final revival, which is one that has the cast recording, did I think like a year or so.
That was the best.
It was the best, and it stuck around. There's been lots of like reincarnations of it, and yeah, just listen to that one. But
the original
was literally like in the black and whites, and it just completely flopped.
It was just
it was like a really they made like the mum really like scary and horrible, which she is,
but like not.
But like they made her like
demonic.
They made her like worse than Carrie.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
So it got 5 performances in that original production, closed, and has been revived a fair few times.
And now it's pretty decent.
It is good. It came to London, didn't
it?
Yeah. And did a little bit. I didn't see it.
No, neither did I, but I did know about it.
Yeah. And how are we doing for time?
How are we doing for time? We're doing good for time.
Oh, we're doing okay. Okay, so the last one. This is gonna be a bit.
It's gonna break your minds.
Les Miserables was a flop. It wasn't a flop. Basically, she was. Basically, they had the idea. Originally, it was a concept album in 1980.
French concept album as well.
In French, you can find one song. I think it's One Day More. You can find it on Spotify. You can buy a CD of it as well.
Yeah.
By Bibil and Schomburg. They wrote it. It did like 100 concerts or something.
So it did pretty well.
So she did okay. Oh no, that might be wrong. It did concerts. It sold 120,000 copies of the album. The concept album. So she did okay. Then someone one day went to Cameron Mackintosh, dumped the album on his desk and was like, look at this. Feel like this has a life. What can you do? So he listened and he was like, whoa, this is sick. So put it on.
It's rad.
Put it on the stage. Where was it? Barbican Theatre was the first one.
Yeah.
And
it got so many bad reviews. A lot of bad
reviews. People were like, oh, it's boring, it's so long, it's this, it's that, it's a boring story, all that jazz. So then, because it got so many bad reviews, loads of people were like, oh, we need to go and see this bad show then. And we're like, oh, this is really good. This is like a masterpiece.
Yeah.
oh wow. So then it got loads of money from loads of people being like, oh, let's go see it as a joke. And then
Yeah.
it got loads of good reviews. And
Well, they kind of kept changing it and
it's
evolving
kind of
it,
previews anyway.
and it ended up being the masterpiece, the world-renowned show that it is.
Longest running show in the world.
Musical.
So yeah, it flopped because everyone said it was a flop.
Yeah.
It didn't close.
So
It came back.
it's not like a flop like the rest of the shows
Yeah.
are, but it was a flop to begin with, and people they were
everyone
so
said it was
worried it
trash.
was never going to make like any of the money back.
Yeah, I'm eating here. And since has moved up and up and gone to different theatres.
yeah.
Barbican,
Barbican,
Palace, Queen's,
Sondheim.
So
Feel good Sondheim.
yeah. So yeah, Les Mis was a flop, but also kind of not.
And it's also been translated into so many languages and now become one of the biggest
It's like
sensations.
40 languages.
It literally is
ridiculous.
crazy.
That might be wrong. But yeah, it's a good show. Go see it.
Yeah. when the
we
rest is back
reopen.
open again, please do come.
Yeah. So that's it. There's show flops for you. There's loads more.
There are so many more. I
many.
can't think of any more right now.
No, I did have to Google these really random ones.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd go for some that you wouldn't necessarily have ever heard of. Flahuli. What?
Who's she?
Senator Joe. Like,
I think I've heard of Senator Joe, I just have no idea.
I feel like I might have actually. Maybe because it's so famous, because it had 3 previews.
Just one of the world's biggest flops.
But yeah. Was that interesting? Let us
Did you enjoy
know.
that? Yeah.
Why are you looking down there?
I don't know.
Hello.
Hello, is anyone there?
Yeah, let us know if you enjoyed that. Put in the comments maybe there's some flops that you really like the cast recordings of,
Or the show.
or the actual show if you saw it. Yeah, let us know. And if there's some that we didn't mention, there's
There's
someone
something in the
literally
woods.
walking up to us in the woods. There's a bear. We're gonna die.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, let us
not a bear
know.
in the UK, but yeah,
Thumbs
carry on.
up if you enjoyed.
Yeah.
And all
I
that
mean, we'll see you
jazz.
next week with all that jazz. Have a safe week. Stay safe. Be loved. Share love.
Jesus, it's turned into like
Measure in love.
we love you.
Seasons of love.
Love.
Goodbye.